I've been messing with agent frameworks since before they had all these cute names. And this month, I watched the internet completely lose its mind over one of them. Graph engineering. You've probably seen it all over your feed, but here's what's strange. The idea behind it is about 2.5 years old. The name itself, about 3 weeks old. And the stat everyone keeps repeating as proof? Never real. Give me 5 minutes and you'll know exactly what graph engineering means, where the term came from, and one simple rule you can use to judge whatever AI buzzword shows up after this. Alright, so let's start with the plain English version, because the name sounds way more complicated than the actual idea. Prompt engineering is simple. One instruction goes in, one output comes back, you write a prompt, you get an answer, done. Then you've got loop engineering. Same basic idea, except the system keeps running the task again until some check passes. Picture a circle. The agent tries something, checks the result, then tries again. Super simple. Now, graph engineering takes that one step further. Any step in the process can point to any other step. So now you've got branches, loops, revisits, and different paths. Instead of one straight line, you've got a map. Here's what that actually looks like in practice. Imagine an AI agent researching a question. It hits a dead end, so it loops back, researches the problem again, then splits the work between two different tools. Those tools finish and the agent combines both answers together. The whole shape? That's a graph. Every arrow can point somewhere different, not just forward, and that's basically the technical idea everyone's been arguing about. Now here's the part that actually matters. None of this is new. LangGraph, one of the main frameworks associated with this approach, launched on January 22nd, 2024. That's roughly 2.5 years before people started calling this graph engineering. And according to Chan's July 2026 report, LangGraph is doing around 65 million downloads a month. 65 million every month. So we're not talking about some tiny experiment that happened 3 weeks ago. Google had graph workflows too. ADK 2.0's workflow runtime hit general availability on May 19th, 2026. That's roughly 2 months before the phase really started spreading. So naturally, there's an obvious question. Why did an old idea suddenly need a new name? Think of it like this. There's a restaurant that's been serving the same dish since 2024. Same kitchen, same recipe, same food. Then one day, someone writes about it, renames the dish, and suddenly everybody starts talking about it. Nobody changed the recipe. Somebody just wrote the menu in French. So who actually gave this thing a name? And how did it suddenly catch fire? On July 4th, 2026, Josh Simmons used the phrase graph engineering in a blog post, and almost nobody noticed. It basically sat there for about 2 weeks. Then on July 18th, Peter Steinberger posted a question about whether people were still talking about loops or whether we'd shifted towards graphs. That post pulled around 2.8 to 2.9 million views within a matter of days, and that same day, Hamel Hussein published an essay called Loop Engineering is Dead, Enter Graph Engineering. Now watch this part. There were no release notes, no major product launch, no big LangChain announcement, no big Google announcement, nothing suddenly shipped on July 18th. 2 people posting in the same news cycle isn't a technical milestone, it's just a really good day for a phrase. And that phrase going viral isn't the proof technology suddenly got better. Proof is a different question, and this is where things get messy. By July 19th, a claim started spreading that graph engineering had replaced RAG at Microsoft, Stanford and Anthropic, with 18% better accuracy and 85% lower cost. Those numbers sound convincing. They're weirdly specific, and weirdly specific numbers have a way of feeling automatically true. But Turing Post actually checked the claim. They published a debunk on July 20th, and according to their reporting, none of those 3 institutions produced that result. The number traced back to a narrow, unrelated study that wasn't evidence for that claim. Now imagine this. Use that stat in a client presentation on July 19th. 2 days later, you're sitting across from the same client repeating a number that's already been publicly debunked. Not ideal. And this is the part I find more interesting than the buzzword itself. A fake number can get caught quickly once somebody actually checks the source, but a vague term, that's harder. Because if a term has 3 different definitions and nobody officially really owns it, what exactly are you supposed to verify? Go search graph engineering inside Anthropic's documentation, OpenAI's documentation, or even Google's documentation. At the time of this discussion, you won't find the phrase being used as some official industry standard capability. And within about 48 hours of the phrase going viral, people were already using it to describe different things. Agent orchestration graphs, graphs made from loops, graph structured memory, 3 different ideas, same label. So when somebody says graph engineering, you still need to ask which one. Coverage around the term really accelerated between July 18th and July 28th, and people are still publishing takes on it. So here's where we actually land. A real technique that's been shipped for years, a new name that's only been popular for a few weeks, and at least one viral proof point that didn't survive basic fact checking. And that gives you a really useful rule. If a new term shows up everywhere, don't start by asking, is this the future? Start by asking, who actually shipped it? If the capability appears inside official product documentation, go evaluate the actual product, test it, build it, see what it does. That's something real, but if the entire idea only seems to exist inside of tweets, blog posts, and commentary, then treat it as commentary first, not a new technical capability. That doesn't mean the idea is useless, it just means the label itself hasn't earned your trust yet. And that rule doesn't only apply to graph engineering, it applies to whatever AI buzzword hits your feed this month or next month or the month after that. Because the goal isn't memorizing every new term, it's learning how to tell the difference between something genuinely new and an old idea wearing a new name. And if you want more breakdowns like this, where I separate what's actually shipping from what's mostly hype, subscribe to the channel. My name's Chris. I'm a solution architect who builds AI workflows and automations so you don't have to. And if you want the actual workflows, join my automation vault. All the end-to-end workflows are completely free. Link in my bio and subscribe for more builds like this.